All right, let us get started. Welcome to Pattern Radar, part of the Pattern Breaker Society membership. Let me see if I can make this full screen. Awesome. All right, so welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Leanna Cools. I am a clinical sexologist, licensed mental health counselor, certified sex therapist, and I also specialize in narcissistic slash antagonistic abuse recovery. That is a mouthful. All right, let us get started. All right, so Pattern Breaker Society is about identifying your core dating patterns, what's driving them, what are your emotional triggers, what are red flags that you are ignoring, building self trust so that you can listen to your gut and kind of show up in a very authentic way. All right, so this is September's day one that I had it post, so I'm just re-recording. All right, so I want to talk to you a little bit about the challenge. As a reminder, if you are a standard member, you get day one for free. And if you are a premium member, you get access to day two and day three. So today we're only going to do day one. All right, so the pattern plan today, we're laying the foundation, learning dating patterns, what they are, how they repeat, how to spot them in your life. I'll be walking through the strategy to help you spot your pattern so you know exactly what you're doing and why it matters. For those who are in the premium, next is tools to decode your pattern. So we're actually going to take a pattern quiz, learn how to interpret the results, and then introduce some tools to kind of help you connect those dots between those patterns, emotional hooks, and your unmet needs, because that is really what's driving these patterns. And then finally, on day three, we're going to do the reflection and reframe. This is kind of your commitment and plan moving forward. So we'll be mapping out your core patterns and creating a personal pattern breakthrough statement to uh, highlight the beginning of your next chapter. All right, so your job is to either catch it live or watch the recordings, complete the assignments. So the workbook for these are in the community. So if you are on another platform, YouTube or something, you're not going to see that. You have to join the community for free to get access to that workbook. And again, it's free for standard members. All right. And then engage in the community, ask questions, post insights, just share. All right, I went over the workbook. Let us begin. All right, so this challenge is to help you clearly identify the dating patterns you keep repeating, to understand why those patterns form, how to start to interrupt them, building that self awareness that allows you to start showing up differently in your romantic relationships. All right, so we're at day one. We're going to learn what dating patterns actually are. Understand the emotional and psychological reasons they keep showing up, and then start setting that foundation for spotting and breaking the unique patterns. All right, so a dating pattern is a repeated experience or dynamic that plays out across different relationships. So it shows up as attracting similar partners, ignoring the same red flags, or repeating certain behaviors. So it kind of feels like really, truly like you're dating the same person in a different body, or that all these relationships tend to start the same, end the same, right? And these patterns are often unconscious. We don't realize that it's happening. It feels familiar, but we're just not sure what's going on and why. And it really is powerful because if we're not aware, we can't intervene. Right. So why these patterns repeat? Unmet needs. So we subconsciously seek what feels familiar, even if it's not good for us. The brain is the hardest working, laziest organ, I like to say, because it really is, it loves automation. It doesn't like anything new. So if chaos felt familiar, it will be attracted to chaos every time, right? And then we have our core beliefs. So these are all stories about love, worth, or relationships that drive our behavior. Um, and this could be about yours or your family members or something you've witnessed. And then you have emotional hooks, and those are behaviors like love bombing that kind of tap into your hope, your longing, or even your insecurities. And then, of course, fear of change. So, like I mentioned earlier, even toxic comfort zones can feel safer than unknown territory. So, kind of like the devil, you know. And it's easy to fall into because hope is loud. When you want love, it's very easy to overlook what doesn't feel right. Our hormones blur clarity. So we have this chemistry cocktail of oxytocin, of dopamine and adrenaline that kind of spike early on and really makes it difficult for us to see things clearly because it's a nice little high that we're riding. And then the fantasy takes over because we're feeling so great. We want to keep it going. So we start responding to potential and not the reality. And part of the potential is how it started. So if it was great in the beginning, then it's like, oh, we had the potential to get back to that, but it doesn't quite work out that way. And then our judgment gets clouded. So even smart, self aware women can find themselves caught up. Again, if you are on YouTube, the membership is for women. This is not to say that other genders do not find themselves in similar situations. Okay, just for the record. Okay, so next time, if you are a premium member, you're going to take the Spot the Pattern quiz. You'll use the real life past experiences to reflect on what's driving your cycle. And being honest is really the most important part of this process. It is really important to just look at it from a place of curiosity and awareness and not judgment and shame, because then that's just repeating the cycle. All right, so day one, go to the workbook. This is the Identify Your Pattern Cycle, Choose Your Story, Notice the Familiar, Name Your Pattern Gently. Share it in the community if you have it. And yeah, if you have any questions, just tag me. All right, so just recapping today, we went over what dating patterns are, why they form and stick around, how your brain, emotions, and hormones play a role. And we went over the plan for next time, which is the Decode Your Pattern with the quiz and tools. And I have to say, this quiz was absolutely fantastic. I actually even learned something about myself when taking the quiz with the community members. All right, and then if you have any questions, just post and let me know. All right, thank you. Bye.